You're listening to the Fayetteville 411 podcast, produced by the City of Fayetteville, where you will get information about city government and the programs and services we provide. You'll get topics of interest and an inside look into the various departments that help keep our city moving. I'm Alex Drew.
And I'm John Salling. Thanks for joining us for the podcast. Today, we're joined by Lamont Hinson and Chris Atkins from the Fayetteville PWC. We're going to learn a little bit about the PWC and the services they provide in our community. Lamont, Chris, thank you for joining us today.
Greetings to you both. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you tell us some, in your words, what is PWC and what do they do for the community?
Great question. Fayetteville PWC, the Public Works Commission. That's one of those questions we ask whenever we visit schools. What does the PWC stand for? We provide electric, water, and wastewater services for the city of Fayetteville and Cumberland County. We've been in the community since 1905, so over 120 years. We continue to strive to provide safe, reliable services in all three areas. It's a challenge, especially with the costs going up in our society and in our environment, but we're continuing to strive to do so and do it at an award-winning pace.
Chris, kind of your take?
Well, PWC does service over 119,000 customers for electricity, water, and sewer. Not all premises or all addresses have all three utilities. Some have one or two, but we do service 119,000, a little over that, and that's much of Cumberland County and Fayetteville.
That's a lot, yeah.
Well, we've had a few 80-degree days here in the beginning of March, and so I know people are starting to prep for that warmer weather coming in. And what are some conservation tips to share with residents on how to help keep their bills on the lower end? Because I know that's always a concern for customers.
I will acquiesce to you, Chris. I know you share that with the customers so often.
Yes, especially this time of year, we do have customers calling about their bills for the usage in the coldest time of our winter, January and February, and they're calling us now for explanation of their bills. So we often, and we should be referring them to our website where they can find tools to manage their energy usage. They can also check on water conservation also, but right now this time of year is concerns that deal with their electric usage. So we have an energy resource center. As soon as you go on to our website, which is www.pwc.com, if you go to the residential spot on the tab, and then you would click on conservation, electric, and there is also a spot for water, but there is underneath electric, there's the Energy Resource Center. If you start with that, it's interactive. As much information as you put in about your individual home, you will get tips on how to bring your electric usage down. You can put in your thermostat setting, so what sort of insulation you have, how many appliances you have, or what kind of appliances they are. And it can give you some feedback, or it will give you some feedback on ways that you can save on your electric usage. So our website, it's got great tips on there. You can do a temp tracker, you can foreshadow what your next electric bill will be based on the temperatures and where you have your thermostat setting. So as far as conservation, we do recommend that you set your thermostat at 68 during the winter. So when you have heat on, 68. When you turn your air conditioning on, we recommend 78 degrees. And that may feel warm to a lot of people. I mean, it does feel warm to a lot of people. However, if you turn on the ceiling fan or if you have a room fan on, that should make your room feel 4 degrees cooler. And most people are comfortable at 74. But the higher you can set your thermostat during the summer with the air conditioning on, the greater benefit will be on your electric usage. On the other side of that is if you have your heat on still, try to lower it to 68. If you do need to raise or lower your thermostat setting, please go only 1, possibly 2 degrees in either direction at a time and give it 15 minutes to see if you're comfortable enough before you go any higher so that you don't go into auxiliary or demand for your electric usage. We do recommend that you change your filters every 30 days. So that grate you have on your wall, there's a filter inside there. We recommend you can use just the cheap ones, the cheapest ones that you can find, because the air will flow better through that. Our conservationists would tell you that. So get the most inexpensive filter, but change it regularly. We recommend 30 days. And then make sure your windows and doors are sealed to keep the cold air in the summer and the hot air out there, and then in the winter to keep your warm, heated air inside. So seal your windows, your doors, get a draft dodger. Those are the little inserts that you slide under your door to keep air from escaping underneath your door. And
those were great tips. I'm sitting over
good
here
tips,
like,
yeah.
check. Yeah.
I've been doing this a while.
I can tell. You definitely want to make sure that your HVAC is being serviced throughout the year. We recommend twice. As you mentioned, our website is a great resource. It has a whole page dedicated to conservation tips for both electric and water. The filter thing is a big one. We get that question commonly. People wonder if getting the more expensive filter is the better choice. However, as she mentioned, the more inexpensive ones, the thin ones, those work perfectly fine. The thinner the filter, the better the air can pass through. Insulation is a big one around your doors and windows. Utilizing your ceiling fans as well, that's going to be something that helps. And remember, the fans keep people cool, not the room. So if you're not in the room, it makes no difference if you keep the fan going. It's going to keep you cool, not necessarily the room itself. And just being smart with your usage, cooking at reasonable times, that can also help. And we are constantly pushing time of use, TOU. We're getting ready to approach the summer peak hours. So April 1, the 3 hours when there's more demand on the grid is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So the other 21 hours of the day is when we recommend people get into their consumption, and the rate is 35% cheaper if you do so. So again, there are tips, what recommendations on our website. So before we try to rattle each one off, we would try to funnel people to the website.
Why do tips like these become a little more important at certain times of the year? What kind of season are we coming into where we want to make sure people know about how they can save money on their utility bill?
Well, whenever there's extreme cold or extreme heat, people's bills tend to fluctuate. And I'm not sure of this, but my little thesis is I believe most customers kind of feel like their utility costs should be similar to their cell phone bill. They have a plan already set up. Their bill is the same each month. They didn't exceed their minutes or their text messages, so their cell phone bill remains the same, and they kind of feel the same way about their utility costs. I didn't change my thermostat. I made sure that I didn't shower too long, so why did my bill change, things of that nature. But the climate outside definitely impacts how much electric usage, especially with your HVAC, you will have. So that impacts it. Same thing when it's extreme cold. Even though you may keep your thermostat set at a certain setting, if it's extreme cold, especially below freezing, then it's going to be running longer. And at certain times you may have the auxiliary heat on, and same thing when it's extremely hot. So it's constantly an education process to our customers and reminding them your habits do make a big difference, but you're still impacted by the weather outside.
And so we talked about that time of use rate a little bit. What is that time of use rate? Why is that there?
Time of use, or peak demand time, some people will use that term, is the time when there is extra electric usage on our grid, and I'm probably going to defer to Lamont in a second on that. But the hours are right now 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. That will be through the rest of this month. On April 1, we will switch to summer hours, and that will be 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And as he said, it's 35% cheaper in the off-peak hours. So we do recommend that your electric usage decrease during those 3 hours as much as you can. I tell folks, don't do your laundry. It does not affect your water, just your electric usage, but your hot water heater is, well, unless it's gas, but if you're using hot water, so showers and doing your laundry and running your dishwasher, that's not affecting the water for time of use, but it is the electric, what's causing it to have to heat up. So we recommend that you avoid those chores, baking, the showers, the dishwasher, the washer and dryer. I think those are the big ones that you want to avoid during those hours. Just do them the other 21 of the day and just try and stay quiet during those 3 hours. But we are switching to 3 to 6 on April 1. And that's because there's extra electric demand on the power grid at the end of the day when people are coming home or coming home from school, coming home from work, and they're turning their thermostats down to cool their home off.
And so, with warmer weather, people start getting ready for spring and planting and taking care of their gardens. I know I'm an avid gardener in my little raised beds. And so what are some things that residents need to be aware of if they are planting trees or shrubs and, getting their green thumb ready for this spring and summer?
I always recommend that people reach out to NC 811 so they can have the locators come out to their home and locate, mark different utility lines, phone lines, even cable lines. It's an absolutely free service. I believe they require about 72 hours notice before they come out. So you can kind of schedule them, give them a call. I recently had to do it for a relative of mine. So it is it's a free process. You just give them the information, the address that you want marked off, give them your contact information. And if you already know what you're intending to do, they will ask that information as well. But that's a good start. We also, if you have a green transformer box in your yard, we always say be mindful that this is the source, perhaps not only for your house, but for your block or your neighborhood. So please don't plant anything around it. 9 feet in front, 3 feet on each side and the back of it. Reason being, whenever there is an outage or a situation where our guys need to perform some maintenance, the last thing they want to do is come mess up someone's rose garden or pull up someone's bush, but that might be necessary for them to get to the transformer box. So while it could be a little unsightly in your yard, and I understand that's why some people do it, you have to think about the overall utility purpose for it being there. So again, please don't plant in front of the transformers, 9 feet in front, 3 feet around each side of it. And we have, again, information on our website as well as our YouTube channel that explains it in further detail. Yeah, I don't know. Am I leaving anything out, Chris?
No, absolutely not. Except I would say what you want to look for on our website is before you dig into spring is what's on the website. And there's all sorts of the information he's talking about. And it will give you more information about planning where you're going to plant your flowers, your shrubs, your trees. So on our website, PWC, it's the top of the page says before you dig into spring.
And be mindful where you plant your trees. Most of our service is either overhead, but we do have some underground service as well. Those are the two ways that electric service is provided. So the last thing you want to do is plant a tree near a overhead utility line. It may start off small, but trees grow, and it could, run some interference into the line. So just be mindful of that as well. It's same thing whenever there is hurricane situations. We have a excellent tree trimming crew. So if you want to preserve your tree and not have it trimmed up for safety purposes, just consider all things.
Nobody wants to be that person that cut power to the neighborhood.
Exactly. Exactly.
One thing I wanted to add on that is when he's talking about planting trees, keep in mind that if you plant your tree strategically to shade your HVAC unit, that is a wonderful thing. Some people they'll put up one of the umbrellas that will provide shade at the hottest time of the day. So that would be one thing to keep in mind when you're choosing where you plant. If you can plant it where the afternoon sun will provide shade to your HVAC unit, you'll see a great dividend on your electric usage.
It's really a whole science to being a homeowner or resident. I've learned so much since working with the utility, and even we used to partner with the Master Gardeners here in Cumberland County. They have great information as well, but there really is a whole conservation way of doing so many things inside and outside of your home. And if you just do a little bit of research before you spring into action, see what I did there, spring? It can save you a lot of money in the immediate and in the long term.
Awesome. Good to know. Other hot topics to hit for the day. For folks experiencing a power outage or a water loss, anything like that, who do they call? Where do they go?
Customer service, 910-483-1382. That's the number. I'll say it again, 910-483-1382. We're one of the rare organizations that you can still phone into and get a live person to give you some advice over the phone. Hence, we are the hometown utility, even though there is some consideration to us changing that moniker because we're starting to expand and grow so much. I don't know if we can just be looked at as just the hometown utility. We're going kind of out into Grays Creek and things of that nature. So, like I said, it's just consideration. But for the time being, we still are the hometown utility. And if you have any questions that you can't find the answers to on our website, because we try to put as much as we can on the website, but I know sometimes that can be difficult to navigate through, please feel free to reach out to us at customer service.
And now that we're kind of nearing the end here, I will have you say, what is that website? Where are the best sources for that information for people that are looking for it?
It is PWC, FAYPWC.com. We have a great menu bar, but if you just already have something on your mind, type it into the search bar and it should be able to come up. We've tried to make it as user-friendly as possible. I work in that department, so I know the fine-tuning that has gone into trying to make it as customer-friendly as possible.
That's great. Yeah, and speaking of customers, I know you guys have a myriad of ways for customers to pay, to reach you. You guys have honestly a wider breadth of contact options. So what are the ways that customers can reach you all, pay their bill, whether that be online or in person? What are the separate ways that customers can do that?
So we do have many ways that folks can pay their bills. We do have a lot of customers who will call in to our main customer service line, and that's fine. They will be given the option to make a payment, and that will route them to our IVR system. I would want to say that we cannot take your payment or enter that in for you, but we'll be happy to assist you with our automated line if you choose to. On the bottom of your bill, on the end of page 2, there are the phone numbers to call directly. So you can call that IVR number directly without having to go through the queue with our main phone number. There is our payment kiosk at the drive-thru. You can drive down to PWC and drive through the main lines to pay a cashier, where you can pay by check or cash, or money order or cashier's check. If you want to pay by card or any other form of payment, you can go to the farthest lane on the right and drive up to the payment kiosk, and that will provide you with a receipt that's available 24/7. You can pay on your online portal or online account manager, and that is a great resource. On there, you can also look at your usage. You can track that daily and monthly. You can look up your prior bills. You can put in just about any customer service request into the app or the portal and get assisted that way. So that is a great resource. I work on those things that come in through the online portal all day long. You can pay on your mobile app. You would need to have the online portal set up first and then download the app. Just go to your app store and search Faye PWC. And that is
anywhere there's a Western Union station
that's
as
right.
well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
So any Food Lion in Fayetteville, they have Western Union there. They are our authorized pay station. So I tell folks all the time, if they're having trouble with our automated payment line, I ask them, do you shop at Food Lion? And most folks in Fayetteville do, or they can stop in there. So I tell them, go to the customer service desk, take your bill with you so you have your account number, and you can make a payment. It will post to your account within 4 hours.
That's great. And you were mentioning IVR at the beginning. Can you tell us what that stands for?
IVR is our automated payment line, interactive voice recognition. Yeah,
Perfect.
I always use that term, and then I was caught off guard.
Absolutely.
Sure. And what do we have upcoming from PWC this year?
Pew, 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 pew. We're hosting our Power and Water Conservation Expo. It's going to be on the fourth Friday of March. So that's March 27th. I don't know when this is going to air. However, we've kind of reformatted it. So in years past, this is the 12th year that we've hosted this expo. Prior, it's always been held downtown at Skyview on Hay. And just trying to be more cost conscious and seeing how we can make more of an impact throughout, not just one time throughout the year, but throughout the year, really. We're going to do it each quarter. So we're going to host one in March. We're going to do one in June. We're going to do one in September. And we're going to also try to do one in December. And each one will have a different theme. It'll focus on a different area. So normally we try to highlight all three services at the expo, and it's been like an all-day thing from like 10 to 8 p.m. I think when it originally started, it was a 2-day expo. So now we're looking at trying to right-size it. The one that's coming up on March 27th is going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're hosting it at the North Regional Public Library. That's 855 MacArthur Road. So we're going to move it around as well and try to highlight different areas throughout the community. We're starting off at the public library. It's going to be completely free. The initial expo that we're doing for the first quarter of this year is going to have a water quality theme. So we're having our people from water resources come in, people from our wastewater services as well. So you can ask questions of our staff, get information, brochures, details on how to save, learn about the water cycle itself and all that it takes to provide high quality water throughout the city. And we're going to, of course, have free conservation giveaways. So shower timers, hose nozzles, dye tabs, things that help you check for leaks, you name it. People can come in. Hopefully it'll also help out the library. You always want people to, learn more about other partners here in the city. So we're going to do it from 11 a.m., 3 p.m., try to get some feedback, see how it works, and improve it as we do it each quarter throughout the year. But the first one, like I mentioned, is going to highlight water quality.
Those expos are always great. I know I still have like a little bush that I got one year and my light bulbs. Oh, yeah. I love the expos. They're fun.
And some great tools for that conservation we talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
Love to hear those stories.
Oh, yeah. That wraps it up for this episode of the Fayetteville 411. The Fayetteville 411 is one of several podcasts that the city produces for our podcast channel, Radio Fayetteville. Be sure to subscribe to Radio Fayetteville, available on most of your favorite podcast streaming platforms.
You can also listen to every podcast that Radio Fayetteville has to offer by downloading the FayTV streaming app, available now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. You can view all of our video content by visiting faytv.net. To get information about city services, visit fayettevillenc.gov. Thanks for joining us, and thank you too as well. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
Greatly appreciate it.
From culture and arts to world-class opportunities, there's no place like Fayetteville. But it takes passionate people to keep our city moving forward. Join the team that powers America's can-do city. At the City of Fayetteville, you're not just doing a job, you're shaping the future. We invest in you, and you invest in Fayetteville. Make a difference where it matters most. Apply today at fayetteville.nc.gov/jobs. Be the heart of a city on the move.
Looking for ways to connect with your can-do city? Join us in the community at Doug in the District for open dialogue with the city manager, or attend Fayetteville Out Front to learn about city topics and projects that matter most to our community, or connect with Mayor Colvin at Coffee with the Mayor. Stay connected anytime by following the City of Fayetteville on social media, subscribing to our newsletter, watching FayTV, or listening wherever you are to the Radio Fayetteville podcast channel. Stay informed, stay engaged. FayettevilleNC.gov.